Blacks in technology.
Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology.
Good evening, everyone, wherever you're at. Welcome to the Blacks in Technology Big Tech Talk podcast. This is episode number 65. Everything you wanted to know about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, we're going to find out tonight. I'm your host, Greg Greenlee. And if this is your first time listening, you can find us on at www.blacksandtechnology.net. We're also on the Twitters. We're at Black and Technology, and that's BLKINTECHNOLOGY. You can also check us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Blacks and Technology. There's also a LinkedIn group as well. So go to LinkedIn, search for Blacks and Technology, and you'll see our logo. And got quite a few members on there. So join the group there. And if you're listening to this and you're on the Twitters and you have questions for our guests tonight about Bitcoin, about cryptocurrency, tweet them to hashtag BitTechTalk. That's BITTECHTALK. Blacks in Technology is a tech-focused community and media organization focused on increasing diversity and technology. We're always focused on forming new partnerships and opportunities to assist our members with their continued professional growth and development. So if you want to partner with us, send us an email, partnerships@blacksandtechnology.net. For any general inquiries, send us an email to info@blacksandtechnology.net. And if you want to sponsor a podcast, we got a couple of good ones coming up, one on development boot camps, and we got another one coming up on a lot more sysadmin, system engineering stuff. But it's going to focus on logging, more specifically the Elk Stack. We're going to have a special guest, Jordan Sissel, the creator of Logstash, that works with Elasticsearch now. He's going to be on the show. So if you want to sponsor any one of those upcoming podcasts, send us an email to sponsorship@blacksandtechnology.net. So we do have a few announcements to make before we get into our guests, before we introduce our guests. The iUrban team, they're at iUrbanteam.org. They have an upcoming technology event at the University of Washington, Bothell. That's happening November 22nd, which is 9 days away, from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. They're definitely needing volunteers for that event. We actually have a blog post on this up on the site, so go to blacksandtechnology.net. You'll actually see the blog post that we did to help them promote this event. So if you're interested, there's a link. There's actually a link on the blog post for volunteers. So click on that link, and you'll, if you're interested. So go check that out. And I do want to welcome our newest addition to the Blacks in Technology team, Jennifer Epperson. She is going to be our resident web designer. So be on the lookout for some definite improvements to Bit in the future. She's a wonderful person. She's really heavy into UI UX, and happy to have her aboard. So welcome, Jennifer. And we are also looking for a marketing person. So we need somebody to help us with social media, newsletters, press releases, all the marketing stuff that needs to happen with an organization. We need help. So if you're interested, if you know somebody that might be interested, send us your resume or have them send us their resume to contact us at blacksandtechnology.net. All right, now we're going to get into the good stuff. And so tonight is all about Bitcoin. It's all about cryptocurrency. We're going to talk a lot about that, find out what it's about, what it is. I'm not an expert on it. I've heard of it. I haven't really gotten into it that much, but hopefully by the time this podcast is over, I'll know a lot more. I'll be a lot more educated. So joining us tonight is Lafe Taylor. Lafe is the president of COG Cooperative and the co-founder of LoveWill. He is passionate for social justice, disenfranchised groups, entrepreneurial ventures, all things tech. And he's going to talk to us about the cryptocurrency economy, how it benefits the Black community. And also joining us is going to be, he's not on a call yet, but hopefully he'll be joining here soon, is Lamar Wilson. Lamar develops applications for the cryptocurrency market. He has a BA in finance from the University of Kentucky, and he studied programming for the past 7 years. I actually met him at Lexington Codes event, I think last year, 2013, with Daphne LaRose. She was actually one of our guests. I think that's Lamar now. Lamar? Hello?
Yeah, it says he's connected.
Can't hear him. Maybe he's muted. I don't know. Hopefully that's him. If it is, welcome Lamar to the show. So, as you know, I want to start off where we always talk about. You know, the first thing we ask our guests, and we want to get a little bit into your backgrounds in tech, a little bit into your backgrounds and what you're you know, dealing with right now, which is Bitcoin. So give us a little bit of background about that. We'll start with you, Lafe.
Okay, background in tech. Lamar and I, we started a company about 5 years ago. It's called 212, where we build mobile and web applications. Been doing tech since, I guess early 2000, mainly from a branding side, graphic designer by trade. I used to work for YKK Corporation, did branding and sales and marketing for them. Also did my own freelancing before Lamar and I met. We both had clients, and then we had mutual clients, and so we connected to that.
Okay, you guys are out of where?
Out of Kentucky. Yeah.
Say again. You kind of cut out.
Yeah, out of Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay. Hey, Lamar, can you hear us?
Yeah, I went ahead and called in on the phone. The computer wasn't working for some reason.
Okay. Hey, welcome to the show, Lamar.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing pretty well, man. A long time no hear from. I think it's been about a year.
Yeah, I know. It's been a little bit.
Yeah. So we were getting into, you know, your backgrounds in tech, and Lafe was talking to us about, you know, his background. So give us a little bit about your background in technology.
I've always been a tinkerer my whole life. I always wanted to be an electrical engineer, but got to school and found out I like money more, so I wound up getting a finance degree. Later on in life, though, I decided to teach myself how to do a little bit of coding out of necessity. Someone screwed me over on a website, so I taught myself how to do it myself, and then from there, I kind of have been coding ever since. I did some MySpace apps, some Facebook apps, some mercenary work, like I like to call it, when people get apps and stuff from Russia or China and they're screwed up. I can go in and change them. So that's kind of my background. I've always been a person who really is into technology and try to use it in everyday life and apply it.
Nice. And me and Lamar, we actually met at an event called Lexington Codes. Where one of our past guests, Daphne LaRose, she was in attendance there. So what's going on with that? Are you guys still involved with that program?
Yes. We still have the Ignite project that we run out of a place called the Black and Williams Cultural Center. It's in what would be considered a HUD zone, if people understand what HUD zones are. And we have an incubator here, and we teach code, and we try to help people out with technical things as much as we possibly can. We try to give a little bit.
I think we lost. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, we kind of lost on the last part. I did, anyhow.
Well, take it over. I'm having technical difficulties here in this space, I guess. I'm not having the best of time. But yeah, go ahead. You can take over a little bit.
Yeah, just to pick up where Lamar was leaving off, we're still in the same location, I believe, where you and Lamar met, 498 in Lexington.
Okay, nice. So tell us a little bit about, and I'll direct this at you first, Lafe. Tell us a little about, I don't know if the COG co-op and the Lovewell LLC and your role in those companies and organizations.
Okay. First, we call it cooperative. It stands for Cycle of Goodness, and the whole concept is that if you do good for other people, then good will come back to you. The cooperative is based around Bitcoin. Users get what we call patronage points. They get patronage points for inviting other users in, And then there's a whole revenue sharing model that we have with the cooperative. Users will basically be monetizing their viewership. So we have like an ad network that we're in the process of building. And, most networks, when you build them, Facebook, Google, those kinds of things, they make money from people's views. So we decided to take that same model, except we want to give back to the people that are we're monetizing, so to speak. So in the cooperative, everybody basically gets a chance to win. And my role in that is the president of that, and also how it works with Love Will is that the cooperative is the incentivized sales force, so to speak. So the sales force being that users beget users. They benefit from getting other users, and Love Will builds all the technology around the space. Bitcoin, which we'll get more into later, is how it ties in.
Oh, nice. And what's your role, Lamar?
Well, in Love Will, I am the CEO and lead developer. In COG, I am a founder, or just a member like most other people. And basically, I try to make sure that I create most of the technology stuff as far as development goes around both companies. And Lafe kind of runs the COG side, and I kind of run the Love Will side.
Okay. Nice. So let's get into Bitcoin, into cryptocurrency, because I'll be honest, I'm not as up on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as I probably should be, and you probably hear that a lot within, the Black community especially. So give us the gist. What is cryptocurrency? Is that different from digital currency? If it is, tell us how it's different.
Okay, cryptocurrencies are currencies that have what's called a blockchain. So the blockchain technology is basically a ledger of transactions that are distributed across several nodes that provide for a trustless system of finance, pretty much. This ledger is on everyone's computer that decides to run a node. That ledger is verifiable because of the cryptography from the private public key pairs in the currency itself. So that
we lost Lamar again.
What you verify ownership just using mathematics.
Yeah, we lost you there. We got to the blockchain, and we were talking about the ledger on everybody's computer, and then it uses a private public keys, and then we lost you.
Right. Well, basically, the blockchain is the technology that everyone really looks forward to and calls part of the cryptocurrency. That's what cryptocurrency is based upon, is the blockchain.
Okay. Basically,
what was I at? So I guess I'm sorry about these connection issues. It's very odd. I mean, I've been.
We're used to it, right? We're all techies, and this happens every day in our lives, right?
Right. Yeah. So basically, what cryptocurrency allows is for a verifiable proof of ownership on a trustless ledger, and that's what the power of Bitcoin. That's what the power of cryptocurrencies is.
Okay, and there's an ongoing discussion in our forums right now. If anybody wants to go and check that out, technology.net, click on the forums there, and there's an actual good conversation going about understanding Bitcoin. And one of the things that they mentioned, which I had really no idea about, is the technology of blockchain technology. And so the way the person on the site kind of explains it, it's like this, kind of like this database. And basically what you're saying, like this ledger, this database, no one owns the blockchain. No agency, and this is what he's saying in the forums, no government or agency can turn off the blockchain. But the biggest part about it that I thought was interesting in his explanation is that you can build applications on it, like it's a platform that you can build upon. So can you give us a little bit of understanding behind that?
Yeah, so the currency of Bitcoin is the first application of Bitcoin. And I'll try to talk in very short sentences to make sure I almost need a call and response like a preacher, just to make sure you guys heard me. All right. Wow. So the blockchain, the currency of Bitcoin is the first application that is built on top of Bitcoin, which is technology. But people are currently working on doing smart contracts, doing things like escrow. There's ability to do all types of different things. I know a company right now is creating a side chain, or also creating a separate chain where you can take a blockchain, hash it, and then store that into the blockchain as well. So a lot of people are doing things on top of Bitcoin. And like I said, it all boils down to the fact that now you have a distributed, trustless ledger of proof of ownership. So,
okay.
And you lost it.
No, we got that. So, like, what is Bitcoin? How does it? Can you break it down to us to tell us how does it work? What's the tech behind it? How are transactions occurring using Bitcoin?
Typically the way I explain it to people, I try not to be as techy in my explanation with it. Most people understand how money works, correct? So most people understand that when you have money in your pocket and you give it to somebody, you no longer have money in your pocket. That's typically the way I explain Bitcoin. I try not to use the term Bitcoin because people understand money until you start calling it something else, and then something goes off in their mind and they no longer understand how it operates. So when I explain Bitcoin to, for example, we were in Miami last week, and we were part of the the Tiger Direct Bash, and we had a lot of people come up and ask us about Bitcoin. We spent a lot of time educating people on it and just really using basic terms. You understand it's a simple and easy way to transfer money. And that's typically how I leave it, and then I answer questions from that point. I hope that made some sense to you.
Yeah, definitely. So, I understand that, you can use it to transfer money, but why? I'm guessing, my question is, why should people use Bitcoin? What makes it beneficial for people to begin using?
Well, the technology behind it opens up a lot of doors, but right now I think the largest application that I think can really change the world is remittances. Basically sending money back home to poor countries. Right now, if you look at the current marketplace, poor countries get charged the most amount of money when you send money back. So let's say some third world country, or even for the most part, even what's the country I like to do in South America? Argentina. In Argentina, it costs you a lot more to send money to Argentina, right? So Bitcoin allows you to send value worldwide, globally, for a very minimal fee. You're not talking about taking 20% and 30% and those kind of things. We talked to a guy in Las Vegas, an Ethiopian cab driver, who said he sends back $2,000 and is charged about $100 to send that back home to Ethiopia. And Ethiopia is usually a country that we as Americans usually give a lot of aid to. But as you can see, Ethiopians here want to give money back, right? They want to give money back to their people, but these companies are charging them so much money that there's a lot of it tied up in these companies and not going back to the people who need it, right? So that's one of the things that Bitcoin really, really solves. I mean, you can send money for as little as 6 cents, and in some cases, send it completely free.
Yeah, and also adding into what Lamar was saying, and the reason why you can do that is because it eliminates the third party. Most people, like when we send money through Western Union or something like that, they charge a service fee, and that's where they make all their money. where that's where you end up paying a lot of your money to. So Bitcoin eliminates the need for those third-party services, which makes it a lot cheaper, especially in the case of what Lamar was talking about for remittances.
So how do transactions occur with Bitcoin?
Well, you first of all, you have to mine Bitcoin. Bitcoins are created through mining them, which is basically solving a problem. And then once your computer has done the done its computation to solve the problem, the network rewards you with Bitcoin. Once you have those Bitcoin, you can send them to someone with a Bitcoin address, which is a hash of their public key, pretty much. And by doing that, by being able to send that, then you have a verifiable proof that the person you're sending it to is the person you want to send it to, and plus the fact that you're sending it means that you had to sign to send it. And that's the power of it.
Okay, so that's where the key pairs come into play, right? When you're doing these transactions and you're sending Bitcoins to other people.
Right.
Right. Okay. So you talked about mining, and you talked about computers solving problems, and to some people, that might sound kind of esoteric. Can you explain that a little bit further? What mining is, what these problems consist of, and what are some of the some of the drawbacks of doing that? Because I've talked to some people who are kind of into Bitcoin, and they are saying, like, your computer is doing all this processing, and because of all this processing, it's going to utilize a ton of power, and in the end, mining a Bitcoin might not be the best way to actually get a Bitcoin. So talk to us a little bit about that, and maybe give us some insight as to other ways you can actually get Bitcoin.
Okay, so you can mine Bitcoin, but you can also purchase Bitcoins. There are exchanges and websites that allow you to purchase Bitcoin. The mining, yes, it is computationally significant. It actually, the Bitcoin network actually has more power than all of the supercomputers in the world combined. So there is a lot of power going into the Bitcoin network. That's what makes it secure. Whenever you send a transaction, those transactions get put into what's called a block, and then that block is mined, or that block is verified to make sure that all of the transactions in there are correct based on the cryptography, right? And then they're looking for a hash that is lower than the hashes before, so that it becomes to a point where they keep hashing until they find a hash that has more zeros at the front, right? So you keep doing that. And every time that verifies it, and then you go to the next block. That verification lets you know that there is work that happens to do that, which is part of the whole security. There's a proof of work that says that something worked on this to make sure. So, and yes, it can be very, very, very heavy. It is very expensive in certain places based on electricity. I know some people who are beginning to basically start to sell the Bitcoin mining equipment as heaters in places, so because they create that much heat.
Wow.
Yeah, so those are some of the things that happen with mining. But there's other ways to get them. You can, and one of the ways I think is probably the best way to get Bitcoin is to sell something for them. Do something, be an entrepreneur, sell something that you've made, something that you created for Bitcoin. I think that's probably the best way to get them, because you don't have to worry about any getting any fees from or some kind of trade fee or something like that. You're basically just getting the flat Bitcoin directly to you for doing something. I think that's the best way to go about it. So getting paid in Bitcoin is probably the best and easiest way to get Bitcoin.
Gotcha. And so, correct me if I'm wrong. So cryptocurrency pretty much is kind of like the platform. It's kind of is a type of, or I'm sorry, Bitcoin is a type of cryptocurrency, and then you can actually create other types of cryptocurrency using the blockchain technology. Correct?
Yes. Yes. There are many what we consider altcoins, and then there are also things that we call Bitcoin 2.0, which like Ethereum, things like that are creating their own language and will have their own blockchain. We kind of focus on Bitcoin because it is has the largest network, has the largest computational power, and we believe that if it continues to go in the direction that it is, that it should win. But I'm sure that there are people, because what's happening is people are finding new things that might be better for Bitcoin, and they're just adding it to the Bitcoin protocol, which is what I hope continues to happen. I hope people continue to just add new things to the Bitcoin protocol to push it forward.
Gotcha. And out of this podcast, and we spoke before, and I'm looking forward to your guys' submission to our blog about this whole thing. So people who haven't listened to the blog can go, and they can go to the site and understand us a little bit more. And if they need to or want to, they can get in contact with you guys to learn even more about Bitcoins. And what I think is really cool about what you guys are doing, and I thought it was cool when I first met you guys is how you guys are giving back to the community. So it's not just about, you guys and making a bunch of money. It's about, you guys providing this information to the community and giving back, through your organization. So I definitely applaud you guys on that. I think that's great.
Thanks.
So tell me, hey, Lafe, so why is it important that people understand cryptocurrency right now in today's world?
I think it's important that people understand it from at least a basic standpoint, not necessarily understanding like all the ins and outs of it, because it can be kind of overwhelming, and that's what usually causes a lot of confusion. But understanding it from a base level in terms of, okay, Bitcoin is here, it's going to be used, it's definitely the future of money. So people need to understand it from the standpoint of how to actually acquire Bitcoin and actually just get started. So typically what we do with people is we give them our wallet, and then we send them some Bitcoin just so they can see how to interact with it. And once they actually have some Bitcoin in their possession, it just makes sense. Talking about it is one thing, but having it like the physical, a virtual wallet, so to speak, having the wallet and using it and seeing how you send money and receive money. Once people do that, then that pretty much answers a lot of their questions.
Gotcha. And tell us a little bit more about the wallet. I know you guys, what the name of your company is, or you have an application called Pheeva, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Tell us a little bit more about that, about the whole concept of the wallet, and give us some information about your application.
Okay, I'll start with the general process, and then I'll let Lamar finish up.
Okay.
Pheeva Bitcoin wallet is what we call a hot wallet, meaning that it's your day-to-day carry-around wallet. It's not meant to be your safe or your full-fledged vault. So we decided to make a hot wallet for quick transactions, and we call it the sexist wallet in Bitcoin right now, which it actually is. Also, we have ways for people to actually spend Bitcoin within our wallet, which no other wallets currently have. So we have a partnership with Gift where people can actually use the Bitcoin that they have and buy real products immediately. Even if the stores don't accept Bitcoin currently, we have, like I said, the gift cards within the wallet that you can pretty much buy for over 200 stores. We have a lot of large stores in there where you can get items, just about anything within the wallet itself.
Okay. And Lamar, can you tell us? Lamar, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. You guys are cutting in and out as well. I just think my connection is really bad. But go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was, having him explain, the wallet, and then going into a little bit about the application, the Pheeva application.
Oh yeah, the Pheeva wallet. We really just had an idea to make sure that we made it really easy for people to use, like Lafe said. I heard him say that part, and just make it to where we're talking more about an ecosystem, right? Where we're more about building an ecosystem in the wallet and not just being a wallet in itself, adding more value to our users, which we think, needs to happen if people are going to adopt Bitcoin in a grand way.
And speaking of value, how does Bitcoin get its value, and what regulates Bitcoin's value? Because I've seen read articles where Bitcoin was valued at this much one day, and then the next minute it's dropped dramatically and it's only worth this much. So how does it actually get its value?
It's a free market, right? It's based on supply and demand, just like pretty much anything else. The issue is that right now, a lot of people are valuing it based on the dollar. So they tend to speculate with it. And by speculating with it, they're always trading it for fiat, for currency that is created by governments, right? And that I think will, once people start using it more as a everyday currency to buy their everyday needs, I think that will help it a lot as far as getting less volatile compared to fiat currency. Right now, most people who have it are investors / speculators. So the price will go up and down because people are just constantly trading it. And I think the only thing that will change that is if more people use it. So we have to keep pushing adoption to make sure that the value of Bitcoin is based on usage and a particular set of goods, right? Goods and services, than it is based on just people speculating on it.
So basically putting the power in the hands of the users as opposed to the people who, the bankers and traders and things like that, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay. So people, coming into this and listening and about Bitcoin, one of the things that I read is, is it stable? Is it a stable enough type of currency for it to be, have long-term success and be viable? What's your answer to that?
The technology is stable. It's been 2009, so it's been about 5 years. Bitcoin itself has not been hacked. Have people's personal wallets been hacked? Yeah. Have people lost money off their own person? Yes. Off their personal wallets? Yes. Technology of Bitcoin has not been hacked. It's still running. It's still running like it was when it first started. So I think that it's pretty stable. I think we have a pretty good. There's some things that need to get fixed, of course, like transaction speed, blockchain bloat, things like that. But for the most part, Bitcoin is stable as a technology. And
I want to get into that here in a second, Lamar, because I want to talk a little bit about security, because there have been some scares, and I don't know if it's this kind of this media hype or misinformation. That's what it sounds like from what you're explaining here. But I kind of want to get it from you, since you guys are the experts. And so hold off on that just for a second. And I want to ask Lafe, how can the Black community get involved with cryptocurrency?
Easily. Quit being scared. It's easy as downloading the wallet and getting started. It's literally that simple. A lot of times, like you said, Black people just, now I won't say as a whole, because you look at us, we're Black, so we're in it. But you tend not to know. We're more in the know. So, how do we get those who are not in the know? And even I'm more in the know, and I still haven't used it, so I might get back. Just simple as just the passionate people. Just reach out to your family. Both of our mothers have Bitcoin. Our families, our wives understand it. My kids understand it. Lamar's kids. So it's really just talking to the people you know and getting them involved, showing them that it's worth its weight in gold, so to speak. That's really it, man. It's just spreading the word and being enthusiastic about it. We met some people in D.C. that were using it all over, man. But it's really just a matter of people tuning in and seeing what's going on, because unfortunately, as Lamar was talking about with the speculators and all of that, they're already in it, which means that everybody else needs to catch up, because those guys, they're in it, they already have money, so they can spend their money to get the coin. But still, there's a way for people to start accepting it for their services, accepting it for goods. That's a simple way to get in it without little to no, investment, so to speak. And again, with Bitcoin, unlike, most people try to compare to stock, but unlike stocks, you can buy however much you want to put into it. So I tell people, hey, you have low risk tolerance, spend $1 or $2 and buy some Bitcoin just to see how it works. And then once you understand it, once you see how fast you can transfer money and actually pay people and receive money, and you don't have to worry about callbacks and all that kind of stuff, it's like, hey, once you understand it, it's hard to not use it.
Gotcha. And so what are some of the ways that you all are helping to educate our community about cryptocurrency, about Bitcoin, the business around it, and really getting them to kind of getting them away from being stuck in the traditional ways of thinking about money and about transactions? Tell us a little bit about your efforts around that and some of the seminars that you guys put on.
Okay, I'll start since Lamar's on. What we do with the Ignite project is people that come in, we just talk about it. Most of the people in Lexington, where we're from, know about Bitcoin because of us. We're called the Bitcoin guys, so to speak. So we're just talking to them there. We go do, like you said, events, conferences, have AMAs. We talk about it on Facebook. Try to get, all of our peers and everything. A lot of them still haven't pulled the trigger. So if you're listening, get started. A lot of them still haven't pulled the trigger, but they know more about it than what they did before they talked to us. So that's one of the things we do. Again, we just live it and breathe it. And so the more people we come in contact with, the more people we can educate about it. And for us, it's not a sale, so it becomes easy for us because we're not trying to get anybody to buy anything from us. Typically when you try to get somebody to invest or buy something, they will get leery. So we just have literally open education with anybody, just any and everybody we meet.
Nice. And are these events that you guys have posted somewhere? How can people find out about these events?
Typically, when we've had them, we've been actually traveling quite a bit recently. But when we have them, we'll post it on like our Facebook page, Twitter. Usually, the events we have are local. We go to other conferences and do speaking presentations. It just really varies on the kinds of events that are going on, what we're planning. It just really varies. I know when we first started off, we'll be doing some more here soon as well. Is we had open Google Talk events, so we'll post those. It's just a variety of ways. It just really depends on what we're planning for that particular moment. Sometimes it's just a matter of just opening up Google Chat and just like, hey, we're available. Come talk to us.
Well, I'm gonna extend the BIT platform for you guys to announce these events, because this is something that our community needs to know more about and get more involved in. And I don't want anybody, I actually had a discussion or a brief conversation with a gentleman who was into Bitcoin, who basically chided me for waiting so long to actually have somebody on the show to talk about Bitcoin and to get the Bit community in the know about Bitcoin. And I don't want, he posed a good point. He said that, from my first interaction with him, it's been 2 years, and there still hasn't been a solid conversation around around Bitcoin within on our platform, or within our forums or anything like that. And actually, since this podcast has been announced, there's actually been a couple of good conversations going on over in the forums around Bitcoin. You know, one of them was about understanding Bitcoin, and another one was actually spotlighting the guy I'm talking about and his ventures in Bitcoin. So, you know, you guys got an event going on. You guys are, you know, doing a Google Hangout, anything like that. Let me know. Shoot me an email. I'll get it up on our site somehow, some way, either through the forums. You know, I'll create a quick blog post to let people know, you know, to tune in and get, you know, some eyes and ears on what you guys are doing, because I think that's important.
Definitely appreciate that.
All right, so Lamar, I want to talk a little bit about before we get out of here. I want to talk about security and some of the misinformation out there on security, the currency, and people thinking like, oh, you know, don't use it because it's not secure, it's not stable enough. I know you were talking about some improvements that need to be made to transaction speed, you know, some of the wallets and things like so. Give us your take on the stability, the security of Bitcoin, and give us your take on what, you know, some of the improvements that need to be made to it, and kind of, you know, touch on why people shouldn't be worried about it, about the security aspect of it, and some of the things that they need to do. I know this is a lot. I just combined like 20 questions in one.
Right.
You know, just try to tell people or inform people, you know, what to expect. You know, some of the security concerns, if any, and some of the best practices around Bitcoin.
Well, Bitcoin is as secure as you make it. I mean, it's just like cash, right? If you don't secure your cash, somebody will probably take it out of your hand. So Bitcoin, you have to think about it in the same way you think about cash. You also have to realize that we have years and years of experience on physically protecting things. We build forts and get armies and those kind of things. Digital security is not that old, right? We've been protecting things for hundreds of years physically, but digital security is not that old. So you have to be very careful when you deal with Bitcoin. People have been hacked, yes. People have been found out for using bad passwords and those kind of things. But those same types of things happen with email every day, right? The only difference is that this is money. This is money, so you have to be a lot more careful. But it is possible to keep it secure. Since the Mt. Gox incident, I haven't heard of hardly any other large incidents of people losing Bitcoin, and there are still $5 billion worth of Bitcoin value in the marketplace. So there's money out there for people to try to steal. They just haven't been able to. So I think that right now you just have to be very careful with certain wallets. You have to be careful with who you trust, and just remember that it's just like securing cash. And if you don't take it seriously, somebody will take it from you, and that's just the way it is.
Okay, and talk about, you know, you mentioned a couple of things that, you know, still need to be worked on in regards to digital wallets, transaction speeds. Tell us a little bit about what your take is on some of the things that are needing improvement.
Yeah, I mean, right now it usually takes 10 minutes to confirm a transaction the first time. A lot of people have complained about that. They would like for it to be a lot faster. The amount of transactions that can go in each block, we need to speed that up. The size of the block needs to get a little bit bigger so we can put more transactions in. We also need to watch out for what's called Bitcoin bloat, because you have to remember that every one of these transactions goes into the local database on your computer. And because of that, as the blockchain gets bigger, the entire database is there. So we have to figure out ways to make that smaller so that people aren't using a lot of their resources on their computer in the long run to hold the blockchain. Because the more security is, so you want people to have nodes, but if having a node takes up 20 gigs on your hard drive, it might cut down the number of people that have nodes. So some of those things, I think people are really working hard to improve, and we're trying to improve the usability of it from a consumer level, so a consumer and a business level, just to make it easier for the standard user to understand it and use it. So we're even trying to fix some of this stuff as we go along.
Nice. Great information, guys. What's Lafe? What's the current? Get a good way of putting this. What's the outlook for cryptocurrency? What's the market look like? Just so people can get an idea on what we need to, how we need to be involved and why we need to be involved in this technology.
The future is bright for cryptocurrency, Bitcoin specifically. People definitely, like I said, whether you invest $1 or $100 or a lot more, get involved. It's early, but it's kind of late, but it's still very early. We've been telling people about it for the past year or so. Also, the fact that banks are getting involved. We started, 2 months ago, Lamar? The SWIFT conference, CBOS. Bankers were talking about Bitcoin, so it's here. It's already been invented. It can't be undone. So get involved. Bitcoin, you'll see it pop up everywhere. You see it in PayPal. You see it on a lot of these large consumer markets, Tiger Direct, Newegg, all of these different places that are accepting Bitcoin. Like I said, it's not going anywhere, and especially for merchants. If you're an entrepreneur, you definitely want Bitcoin, lower fees, faster transactions, more secure. You basically get to control your own money, and that's truly the biggest part of Bitcoin that a lot of people don't understand is the fact that you literally control your money. Everybody is pretty much now more or less forced into the banking system. If you're trying to pay for any of your bills, Bitcoin basically lets you control that. With the bank, you can't control your funds once they're in the bank, outside of using the banking system itself. And that's really one of the biggest benefits that I see. Also, the fact that, as you can see, prices are constantly going up. When we started evangelizing Bitcoin, it was around, $90, $100. It's increased threefold since then, tenfold at one point. And again, people weren't listening to it. We kept telling them, get involved, get invested, put some money into it. I don't care if you put $5, you can get 25 back at the time. So just seeing that the money that is actually going up in value, the fact that it's going to become more proliferated throughout the world, it's here and it's here to stay.
Excellent. I think that's some great information that our listeners can definitely educate themselves about, and after this podcast, go and learn more, find out more about Bitcoin, get involved. So before we jump off of here, how can people reach you all? How can they download your app? What are you guys on the Twitter? Give us that information.
Okay. Right now you can go to Pheeva.com. We're in the App Store, the iOS App Store. We're also in the Google Play Store. We have a Google Chrome extension, so you can reach us there. We're Pheeva Wallet on Twitter. You can Pheeva on Facebook, Google Plus.
And that's Pheeva. And real quick, that's Pheeva, P-H-E-E-V-A.
Yeah, P-H-E-E-V-A. Again, our app is free. You can see all the offers we have. Again, the cooperative, if you join the cooperative, that's another way for you to receive Bitcoin for free. Just incentivize people to spread the word. Yeah, so you can reach us there. Our personal emails, mine is Lafe at Pheeva, L-A-F-E at Pheeva.com. Lamar is Lamar at Pheeva.com. We're very open, transparent. We troubleshoot everything. When people contact us, we get them back. We make sure we respond to every email we get. We love the people that use our products, and they give us great feedback. So we try to keep them happy as much as we can.
Excellent, guys. Excellent. And I'll definitely put that information in the show notes. So people can, if they're reading the show notes, they can get in contact with you as well. And I definitely want to thank you guys for joining us tonight on this podcast and getting us hip to a lot of good information. I definitely am going to look more into it and get involved in Bitcoin because I admit I'm behind on it, and I'm a technology, I'm a systems engineer guy. Here I am behind the curve on Bitcoin, so I'm definitely going to step my game up and get involved. So, gentlemen, thanks a lot. Like I said, the invitation is open for you guys to send us information about if you guys want to write a blog post about Bitcoin here and there, and want to drop it off to me, and I'll make sure it gets up on the site. If you guys want to announce anything about your seminars that you all do, shoot me an email. I'll make sure it gets out there. I think what you guys are doing is incredible. What you're doing for the community is incredible, and we need more guys like you doing that. So thanks a lot, guys.
Oh man, we appreciate it, Greg.
All right, you guys take care.
We appreciate it, sir. All right, goodbye.
Take care.
Take care. And I definitely want to talk about real quick. The gentleman I was talking about is Anari. I wanted to say his last name is Singbi. He's the founder of Gamerholic.com, and he's created a cryptocurrency as well. His coin is called Gamerholic Coin, and it works with games on the Gamerholic platform. You can check him out at Gamerholic.com. You can buy Bitcoin, trade it against the dollar. Just like you can buy Bitcoin and trade it against the dollar, you can trade Gamerholic coin against Bitcoin. The coin is currently traded on the most popular altcoin exchange, Bittrex. Gamerholic coin is the first altcoin issued by a startup. The popular blogging platform Reddit will soon launch their own coin. But as of right now, Gamerholic coin was trading at about 5 cents on the dollar. And you can use a Bitcoin converter to convert Bitcoins to dollars. That means if you bought $10 in Gamerholic coin, you get 2,000 coins. If the price of one Gamerholic coin shoots up $1, you made $2,000. So just from that example, you can see the value in cryptocurrency right there, and that's Gamerholic.com. Shout out to Anari. And I want to thank all our live listeners who tuned into this podcast tonight to learn more about Bitcoin and how it can benefit our community. Like I said, there are conversations going on right now in our forums about Bitcoin. So if you have something to add to the conversation, or you're just looking to learn more about Bitcoin, check out the forums. Like I said, there's two conversations. One is understanding Bitcoin. The other one is about the first black to create cryptocurrency. But go there, check it out, see what people are talking about, chime in. If you have questions, ask. And I'm pretty sure somebody will get back to you on the forums. And, just do that. Bitcoin is here, it's real, and we need to get involved. I'm glad, we're able to kind of spark your interest and learn more about Bitcoin. I want to talk about a couple of upcoming podcasts. December 11th, we have our podcast on development boot camps. And then on December 18th, which is a week later, so we're doing kind of back-to-back here, we're going to talk about logging, more specifically the Elk Stack, that's Elasticsearch, Kibana, and Logstash. We're going to have Jordan Sissel on the show for that podcast. We're going to talk all about logging, so hopefully you can join us for that. I want to thank everybody for listening. I hope this podcast has educated you some. Tech yourself before you wreck yourself. Until next time, good night.
Blacks in Technology.
Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology.